verse 7. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and your minds through Jesus Christ. There's so much in that verse. You could spend a lot of time in that verse. The peace of God. The peace of God came through Jesus Christ. So the peace of God will keep your mind. It'll keep your heart. There are some of you that have been through some pretty difficult times in your life. And the peace of God will keep you. I've heard people say, well, I made it through that. I didn't have God. Well, you did. You did have God. Whether you give God credit ever in your life, whether you ever give your Maker credit for any good thing that you've had, whether you ever give Him praise, He's been involved in your life. The time that you should have went off the road and not come back on, you should have died. The diseases that were incurable in your body that He just cured, that you don't know about. It doesn't matter whether you give God credit. It doesn't matter whether you give Him praise. He continues to love His children. Amen? He loves you so much. He loves you. He gives you peace. Amen? He gives you peace. And we live in a world that pursues happiness. They pursue happiness in hopes to find peace. But happiness seems to be in moments, in clusters. Someone agree? If we're not careful, we'll find happiness just in clusters. But God didn't send Jesus down here to find happiness in moments, but in order to have peace. And within peace, then you'll find joy. Amen? And the Bible tells us the joy of the Lord is our strength. And that peace that passes all understanding and that keeps our minds and keeps our heart is found through Jesus Christ. You don't start categorizing things as pros and cons anymore. As you really learn to follow Christ completely, you won't have pros and cons and you won't have good and bad. You'll just have Christ. That's all you'll have. And if all you have is Christ, you have the Prince. You have the Prince of Peace. And if you have the Prince of Peace, then you have joy and you have strength.